Hello, my name is Don and welcome to a quick PSG squad guide. I've done PSG as my Let's Play on FM18 beta, and to be honest, it's one of the best saves I've had on FM in a long time, and the reason being is because of how the club is run. Don't particularly like that way in real life, but it makes for a very fun FM experience. So we're going to go through a quick squad guide, just go through each position individually, maybe have a look at the best idea for tactics and how that will work. So in goal we have two options, you have Trap and you have Areola. So let's have a quick compare of these two goalkeepers. As you can see, they're quite equal. Kevin Trapp maybe a bit better at shot stopping, and Areola better overall as an all-round goalkeeper, but quite a bit worse in shot stopping. For me, in my save, I prefer Kevin Trapp. Some people have preferred Areola. I've heard stories of both. Areola is the younger of the two, and he does come with homegrown status in France, which is a great help to PSG. I'd maybe consider using that. Right back wise, we're going to just show filters and we're going to go for each position individually, all sides, so right sided please. So we've got four options here. As you can see, we've got Dani Alves. This will be your first choice starter, but as you can see, he is 34 years old. Still absolute quality though. Very, very difficult to replace. I can't really fault him. For me, he was brilliant. I would say he is the guy that you're going to use at least for the first two seasons. Maybe first season if you can find someone else. The option as a backup is Munier, Belgian international. Very, very good in his own right. Nowhere near the quality of Dani Alves. Still worth 18.5 million if you want to sell. But the big thing about Munier is it is only on 31k a week, which is a great, great help. And he's got resolute personality, which is great for tutoring. We've also got Marquinhos. For me, I prefer him as a centre back. We'll go through him in more detail as we go through centre backs, so I'm not going to cover him too much. And Alec Gorgon, youth prospect, gonna be okay, I think. He's not going to be at the level of Dani Alves, at least in this load up of the game. But I think he'll turn into a very decent defender. And again, we'll have that homegrown status, also being homegrown at PSG, which will help a lot for Champions League filters as you go through the leagues. We'll then go into the left-hand side, and for me, this is where PSG is weakest. You've got Yuri, who I believe was just signed from Real San Sebastian. I can't remember who that is meant to be. I think it's Real Sociedad. I'm not 100% sure. Looking at the team, yes, it is Real Sociedad. Either way, you've got Yuri, who's just joined. Spanish, decent. Not going to be great. To be honest, it's going to be, for me, a backup at best. And you've got Kurzawa, who is, like so many others I have mentioned. I'm just going to change this to history, career stats. We'll go with that. Trained in France, as you can see, with AS Monaco. Spent a long time there before moving to PSG. He's decent. It would be a very, very good backup. And I would keep him as a backup over Yuri, simply because he's been trained in France. But this is a position where I would say you're needing to invest money, or at least one of the positions where you need to invest money quite quickly. Central defenders, as you can see here, you've got three senior central defenders. You've got Thiago Silva, club captain, absolute football legend, resolute personality, brilliant personality that for tutoring. Brazil captain as well, I believe. I will confirm that in just a second. Doesn't actually say. Either way, yeah, it is the club captain. This will be the guy that for at least the first year or two you'll develop your team around. Again, needs to be replaced because he is getting on in years, about 32 years old. Maybe get another 2 years out of him, I think, is the best idea. You've got Marquinhos, who will be your second choice centre back to begin with. Very, very good defender with potential to grow. 23 years old, valued at 40 million, only on 82 grand a week as well, which is very, very good. Has some very good player traits and, you know, solid stats all round. So I would recommend him as your replacement for Thiago Silva. And you've got Kimpembe, who is French, homegrown at the club. Again, decent defender with quite a bit of potential, fairly professional personality. I would keep this lad. 35 grand a week. It's not going to hurt the budget at PSG in any sense of the word. And he's starting to get games. You know, he's decent stats. It's not a whole world behind Marquinhos. So I'd keep an eye on this kid, and I'd develop him, and I'd maybe focus on his development. But again, the only other option you've got in this squad is Krajkoviak, butchered his name, who's decent on loan at West Brom, but he's more of a midfielder than he is a defender, and I would keep that in mind. I mean, he'll do a solid job in defence, but we'll cover him as we go forward. So we'll go into defensive midfielders, and you've got Krajkoviak, who we've just covered. Again, this is why I like him as a midfielder. He comes deep to get the ball, stays back at all times. Pretty much perfect traits for a defensive midfielder. Not so much what I like for a central defender. I mean, it does work, but not as well as Marquinhos' ones. And likes to switch the ball to the other flank, which again will slow him down when he's looking up to make that pass. But in a midfield position, he can get away with that, and it's a very, very good trait for that. So for me, he is a typical good ball winning midfielder. Not outstanding by any stretch of the imagination. Decent, worth 19 million if you want to sell him. It's maybe another position I would invest some money in. You've got Thiago Motta, 34-year-old, going to be replaced very, very soon. Dwells on the ball, that's his issue. Stays back at all times, dives into tackles and likes to switch the ball to the other flank. Decent traits for this position. He's very experienced. He's going to be your holding midfielder for the first season if you choose to use one. And in PSG, I would recommend that, at least for the first season anyway. And I'll go through that later on. But for me, I like this guy. You know, he's not the quickest, but he's clever. And he gets things done. You've got Verratti, we'll cover when we go further forward because he's not a defensive player by any stretch of the imagination. Rabiot can get away with it. Again, I think he's more of a playmaker. Maybe a defensive-minded playmaker compared to Verratti, who I prefer as more an attacking playmaker. But either way, he's decent. Trained in France. Bear that in mind. That is extremely important with Rabiot, because with PSG, you're going to be spending a lot of money bringing in foreign talent, or you could bring in French talent if you want, but again, maybe the top tier French talent, you know, Pogba, I don't believe is trained in France, so keeping someone like Rabiot in and around the squad is going to help with the Champions League going forward and the Champions League requirements. And you've got Nkunku, butchered that name again. Again, he's just a prospect, looks more attacking, 9 tackling, don't even touch him as a holding midfielder, so maybe another holding midfielder would be recommended. So we'll go for central midfielders. You know, got Meunier again, can play here. You know, he's decent as a midfielder, not outstanding. Certainly wouldn't be having him as a advanced playmaker, but you know, he's decent, will do a job as cover. You've got Krajkoviak again, you've got Verratti. Now, Verratti is outstanding. He's maybe not quite on the level of the Modrics of the world, but he's not far off. Absolutely quality player, 24-year-old, you're going to have years out of him. Stick by him, and he will make wonders for you, and he will make things work. Let's have a look at his traits. He tries to colour balls often, dictates tempo, looks for the pass rather than to score, likes to play his way out of trouble. I don't like this one too much, but if you can get that one off him, that's brilliant. And tries long-range passes, and see some of his long-range passes. I hope you'll agree with me when you use him, but they cut defences open. He is sensationally good. That mixed with the 18 passing and 18 vision works absolute wonders. You've got Rabiot again. Only dictates the tempo, which I like as a playmaker. I think I used him as a box-to-box midfielder actually in my save, but he doesn't have the finishing for it. But you can see all his other stats are fairly decent. But as an advanced playmaker or a deep lying playmaker, he has solid stats around the board. French national, trained in France. Happy days for a club like this. Nkunku, we covered. Javier Pastore, he's a bit of an enigma. Plays 1-2s, looks for the pass rather than score, attempting to score, and cuts in from both wings. As you can see, he covers attacking midfield, central midfield, and both the wings. He's a decent player. He's on quite a big wage for what I think he will fill in your squad. I think he's going to be a backup, depending on how many midfielders you use. But he's not really going to knock any of your wingers out of the team either. So he's an extremely good backup on big money at this time of his career at 27 years old. might be just about the right time to move him on. Media description is an unpredictable attacking midfielder, and I think that is a very good description. You'll get one game where he's sensational, and the next game where he just doesn't turn up. And there's no real reason for it. I think his consistency stat might be low. That's the only thing I can think of. And then you've got Giovanni Lo Celso, Argentinian, decent, going to be a bit of a backup player, but he's got potential to grow into someone. I'd maybe say if you bring in a midfielder, loan him out. Resolute personality is always handy though, but I would keep an eye on his development and see if he can fit into your squad in the future. But he is definitely a well-rounded, advanced playmaker that can cover both the central and attacking midfield options in that kind of role. We'll have a look at left-sided midfielders. We're going to cover all these when I go to wingers, so let's just avoid that. And same with right-sided. So attacking midfielder. So left-sided, you have Angel Di Maria. Played both sides. Quality player, 29 million value. 29 years old. 185k a week. It's a bit of money, but it's fine. He'll play as an inside forward on the right and a winger on the left. He's got the stats for both. Knocks the ball past opponents. He's got the pace to do that. Runs with the ball often and cuts in from the right wing, which suits his inside forward position. And that also allows him, doesn't affect him on the left wing being a winger because it's only from the right hand side. Very good option, will be extremely good in your first couple of seasons if you choose to keep a hold of him. Got Pastore, who we've covered. We've got Neymar. Can't remember how much is it. £198 million apparently you've signed for. I believe it was more. Cuts in from both wings, runs with the ball often, can play central, can play in the middle of the midfield, can play up front, can play on the right wing as an inside forward, can play on the left wing as an inside forward. He has the stats in abundance. He will be the man who builds your squad around. 25 years old. You're going to get 10 years out of him if you do not sell. And his long-term plans, as you can see just now, long-term plans, preference to play for a couple of teams. Doesn't want to play in Russia, doesn't want to play in Ukraine, doesn't want to play in Turkey, Germany or Portugal or Italy. And he wants to win a trophy. And he wants to win the Liga 1 with PSG, so that is good. You've got Gonçalo Guedes on loan. Decent player, decent potential. And, you know, when he comes back, he's going to be a decent bit of backup who can maybe develop into someone. I don't think he'll ever rival Neymar for that position, but he'll be able to be a very, very good backup. Doesn't really fit any bills of Champions League criteria though, which might influence your decision to bring in someone else if you wish to do so. Valued at 15 million, but he is on very low wages, and he's a very decent player. You've got Jesse Rodriguez on loan at Stoke, currently valued at 9.5 million, 24-year-old. I'm going to be brutally honest, I would give him the loan season at Stoke and I would sell him at the end of the first season. And the reason why is your PSG, you're going to be handed money and handed money and handed money. From memory, you start with 44 million to play with. I got money in November, December time. I spent it all and I got more money in January. And then I got a whopping transfer budget in the end of the season for the second season as well. So, and the one thing I will say is look at my series and look at Tom's series. Tom didn't spend any of his money until January. I spent all my money before January and got a second batch of money. Tom didn't. So spend your money as soon as you get it with PSG. And for that reason, I would just get rid of Hesse as soon as you can. He is on low wages, but he's never going to trouble your first team going forward. You've then got Julian Draxler. Very, very good player. Can play both sides of the wings. Can play centrally as well to an extent. Didn't really like him when I played him centrally, but certainly left wing he was absolutely phenomenal when he was filled in for Neymar for me. Right wing he did okay. I played him as a winger though, which means that I didn't really maybe see the best of him on the right hand side. He's a 35 cap for Germany, which is extremely good. Considering how strong that German team is, particularly in midfield positions. Valued at 34.5 million, only on 86 grand a week. I would definitely keep him in and around the squad for the first couple of years unless you get a big offer. And he's going to cover depth, he's going to cover rival people for positions. We'll switch to the right hand side before we go central. And other than people that I've already mentioned, Alves, Munir can both play your at a very decent rate. Got Lucas Moura, very good, very quick. Again, for me though, he's only on 62 grand a week, but he's worth 29 million. If you've spent your budget on a centre back or a midfielder and you want to get a left back or someone else that plays in one of those positions, this is a guy I would probably look to offload just because of what you've got ahead of him. You've got Draxler there, you've got Di Maria there, you've got Mbappe, who I've not covered yet, and you've got Ben Arfa as well. That's the wrong way. For me, Lucas just doesn't quite cut it. He is good. You will get offers from big teams. Don't let that overrule you. He does have good player traits. Avoids using weaker foot and runs with the ball often. Maybe if you could get knock the ball past the opponent, would maybe complement him really well as well because of his dribbling and his pace and acceleration. Particularly against a slower fullback would be extremely handy. But I think in general, he's just not quite the cut of the mould that you're going to have. And then you've got Mbappe. Now, Mbappe starts off good, similar level to Lucas, but just under 5-star potential. You're also signing him at the end of the first season. Can play centrally and right wing, which is where I would say I would personally play him. His crossing's a bit weak though, so I'd maybe work on that if you're going to play him as a winger. Whereas if you play him up top, you've got to play him as a complete forward really, because that's my opinion. I've never used a Tecarista, butchered that role. So if you use that role, he might be good for it. I genuinely can't answer that question because I never use it. But as a complete forward, as you can see, again, he looks decent. Good stats all the way around. I just prefer him on the right wing, if I'm honest. But you know, it's always good to have an extra couple of players that can cover the central position. And you've got Hatem Ben Arfa, again a player who I would just get rid of if you can. And the issue with getting rid of Ben Arfa is that 170 grand a week wage is not going to trouble your first team, let's be honest. So if you can't get rid of him, just get him out on loan and get some of those wages off the wage bill. I agree 170k isn't really going to dent PSG's wage bill in any way, shape or form, but if it allows you to bring in a better player, then take advantage of that. And then we'll go central sided for attacking midfielders, and I think we've already covered all these players in different positions. So attackers, all sides. Let's have a look. And the only player that I've not mentioned so far, I believe, just going through them all, is Edinson Cavani. Absolute quality striker, resolute personality, great for shooting people, can play as an advanced forward, complete forward. They're the two that I'd personally use him on. Managed poacher to a very good level as well. Defensive forward, I don't think would maybe suit him as much, but again, as you can see, he's got all the stats in the correct areas. His player traits, moves into channels, likes to be offside trap, and tries first time shots. Is perfect for the top two roles of advanced forward and complete forward on attack. Dribbling maybe leaves a bit to be desired at the top level, and his passing as well. But everything else is exceptionally good. He will grab you goals, and he will make your team just that little bit better. You do need backup in this position though, because all your guys who can cover this position are likely going to be playing elsewhere on the pitch. And then if you move them into this position, you need to rotate somewhere else. Tactical wise, it's selected the 4-2-3-1 for me because I'm using my FM for beginners, but I would load. I'm not going to get it, am I? Just let me remember how to change tactics, please. So, no, I would personally use a 4-1-2-3, I think it's called on FM. 4-1-2-3. 4-1-3-2. No, 4. It's a 4-3-3 defensive midfield that I would use personally anyway. But I cannot find where it is in here. It's 4-1-2-3. Nope, that is not correct. That is certainly not correct. So 4-1-2-3. Here we go. This is what I would play with. I'd have a ball playing centre back here on defend. Maybe have a ball playing centre back or a central defender. I'm going to go for central defender. Full back support or wing backs, whichever you prefer. The full backs you have can really play any of these roles. Play with your CDM as an anchor man. Have a box to box on this side. advanced playmaker on this side on support or attack. I prefer attack. Keep winger on support on the right hand side just based on what you have. You can always change that to inside forward on personalised, and I'd put inside forward on attack, and this would be your Neymar position. And then Cavani on attack as an advanced forward or a complete forward. For me, positions you need to look at is central midfield, holding midfield, left back and centre back for buying players. Goalkeepers, I would also say it's fairly important. You don't really have that top quality goalkeeper that's going to take PSG to the next level, but I would prioritise the other 4 positions first because Trapp and Areola will do a job in the meantime. Anyway guys, that will end this episode with this PSG squad guide. If you want to see more stuff like this, give a like and a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments down below. If you plan on playing with PSG or you are playing with PSG, let me know how you're getting on, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.